Just brushing my teeth, getting ready for bed. It's about 11:30. Just kind of hanging out. And I jump into my bed. I'm laying there, and then a thought jumps into my mind. Did I actually do this or no? I sat there and I thought for a bit. Like, you know what? Let me go check. You'll never guess what I found. Okay, that's enough. Please.
One more.
Okay. All right. Awesome. What's up, everyone?
Hello.
Hello.
Fellow Saints. If you're listening and you have one of our limited edition Timon and Lincoln Saint candles, go ahead and
Light one for your homies. And we are your homies.
light up with your prayer candles. There we go. There we go.
That's getting harder to light.
There it is.
There it is.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of My Mother Told Me to Tell You and Allison Congratulations podcast. I'm your host, Lincoln. And I was talking to my mom the other day and told her about the engagement, and she said to tell you and Allison congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mama Adair. I accept it. I appreciate it. I'm your host, Timon, and we got some great content for you guys.
Oh, this beer is sweet.
Ooh, this beer is sweet.
Ooh.
Do you want to tell them what we're drinking on this fine Friday morning?
Yep. We are drinking a brew from the brewery.
Shoot!
Listeners.
That was close.
Wow. Okay.
Man, what an exciting episode already, dude.
So, if you're watching the video, that'll be fun to watch on video, I think. Did you I mean, we'll have to cut.
Yeah, clipped it and clipped it, so we'll edit it in. We'll put it in.
Man. So,
I'm jazzed after that. That was wild.
So we're using our upstairs TV projector to project some nice mood colors on the wall behind us.
If you remember last Friday's episode, in the middle of the episode, the light went out.
Yeah.
And so we...
our light burned out. My light went out and our light burned out.
Right. Yes. And so... sorry, I just wanted to clarify what happened in the last episode. So This is why we came up with something new. And so we got some mood lighting. We got a new backdrop. We got the candles going. Hopefully you can't see our blemishes, but you can see all the great things about us.
Yeah.
But yeah, the projector fell.
It did. It
did
fall.
You remember yesterday's episode? You were talking about your roommate getting demon possessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good conversation.
That was great.
Yep.
So the projector fell.
Yeah, projector fell, but everything's good.
It didn't
working fine.
It didn't get broken. How do you turn the screen volume brightness up on your this
It's the
You have your MacBook set up pretty funny.
Okay. You want it down or up?
Light as possible.
So you have to hit function.
There is a button to turn it up, but you have to hit multiple buttons to make it work on Timon's MacBook. Gotcha. Why don't you do yours as well for a little more face brightness
up? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm at max bright. Let's go.
That's helpful.
Let's go.
My face is white enough to reflect it mostly. So yeah, we're drinking a beer.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that good. It's from Dew Claw Brewing Co.
Where do you know where that's at?
No idea. From Baltimore, Maryland.
Yep.
It is. It's called the Pastryarchy. It's a oatmeal cream pie imperial honey wheat ale, and it just tastes like corn syrup and beer.
Deliciousness. Down with the Pastryarchy.
I spent so much money on this beer, and it's not that good.
Didn't you learn from the one time you did that one episode with Jay Hinkle?
It tastes like vape juice.
Tastes like vape juice. Man, that's a throwback.
Yeah.
Remember when you bought that one beer with Jay Hinkle, and it wasn't that great from the Great Lakes Brewing Company?
Yeah, I
just gotta go with Coors Light, man. That's the move.
That's the other beers I got. I told Timon I got a big 12-pack of 16-ounce cans of Coors Light for $13, and I got a 4-pack of these for $15. So they're gross.
They're gross. That's okay. I'll drink it. I don't think it's that bad, honestly.
It would probably be better if we poured it in a glass.
It would probably be better if we poured it in a boot.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. That would be worse. I don't want to drink. Dude, I'm loving how this video looks.
It's looking
If we just had a little bit more light to bounce off of like our faces.
We need to take the sheet that we wore last episode and put that behind us.
We need a little bit of light in the back. We need our light back.
We need all of you listeners to take your lighter and put it in the air.
For us.
For us.
Just like this.
Just light it, and you're listening to the Timon and Lincoln Show, and we are one. Nice. Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, I got so much to talk about.
Okay.
So you want to know what I found at 11:30 last night? Can you guess, Lincoln?
You found our dog getting into the trash?
That's a very good guess. Now, I was sitting there and I was thinking, and I said, did I ever blow out that candle that we lit on yesterday's episode?
Oh, down here?
Yep.
I blew it out.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I did.
I came down at 11:30 and it was lit. So if you blew it out, then how did it get lit? Because I did not relight it.
Oh.
I think you blew it out 2 episodes ago.
Gotcha.
But yesterday's episode, you were so excited about selling your car, which, let's go, praise the Lord.
Sold an old crappy car. I thought it was going to be hard, but it was super easy. So, oops, should have done that 6 months ago.
Nah, it's all good. It's we learn, we grow. This is what it is. And so when I was editing up the podcast, I remember you yelling, "Hey Timon, can you move your truck?" It's totally fine. I was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta move my truck." So I ran upstairs and moved it. Totally didn't even think about the candle. Sitting there at 11:30 in bed, and I'm like, you know what? I bet it's still burning. Come down. It's been burning. So we did our episode at 6 o'clock.
Yep.
5:45, 6 o'clock. And it was close to 11:30, maybe midnight. So 6 hours had passed.
Yes.
Look at where it's at now. It
It's the exact same place.
Oh, it's not burned down at all. We are. It's going to be a long time before this one specific listener gets their Lincoln burnt out candle. But listen, we're doing it for you.
We could accelerate this process.
We could, but it wouldn't be real. We want.
Nothing is real. Nothing is real, Timon.
Says Lincoln.
Everything's a product. Timon, can I tell you about an interesting product I saw on the internet this week?
Oh, I love
this. And I've been meaning to talk about it on the podcast, but we just haven't gotten to.
We haven't gotten to it. Speak your truth, bro. Let's
so
say it with your breast.
Ow. As a lot of our listeners may or may not know, I've been contemplating the concept of buying myself a wristwatch.
Oh. I did not know that. Wow.
We've talked about watches before.
You are into watches, that is true.
No, not really. I'm not in.
You knew more about watches than I knew.
I know 30 seconds worth of knowledge about watches.
By 30 seconds, he means 30 minutes. You can talk to your watch game. You got some.
No,
good watch
I really can't. So I've been wanting to get.
It's got good watch stories.
I've been wanting to get a watch for a long time, and I don't want to get just like a Walmart watch or like a department store watch. I want to get a watch that's an automatic watch, so no batteries.
Yeah, I have one of those.
But also like not battery powered.
No, mine is solar powered.
It's battery. I want one that's like an automatic, like mechanical, like
Gotcha.
You have to wear it for it to keep spinning.
Gotcha.
It functions off the movement of your like an automatic
The inertia.
watch. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I think that's really cool
Physics.
that you can put it, you can just wear it and it just stays going. I think that's a feat of engineering. And so I've been looking for an automatic watch for quite some time. A used vintage Seiko 5, just a cheap sort of wrist. Anyways, so I get ads that are watch ads.
Yeah.
And I saw this ad on the social medias, and it was so interesting. I had to click on it and follow it to its website. They got a click out of me.
Okay.
And the website or the company name is called House of Now. N-O-W. House of Now.
Okay. Sounds like a playlist I listen to, but
and they have a bunch of. I'm gonna read the text from their website before I tell you what their product is.
Let's go.
It says a constant reminder to stay in the now. In a digitally connected world, it's hard to avoid distraction.
Yep.
There's so many things constantly competing for our attention. It's difficult to remember to enjoy life right here, right now.
Ooh.
That's why we create a luxurious wearable reminder with only one goal: to keep us mindful, present, and in the now.
Okay.
And it's a watch.
Okay.
But it doesn't tell time. In fact, this watch does nothing. It is a watch. It's a gold bracelet watch band. It has a watch-shaped dial on it. But instead of having a dial, it just has a piece of metal with the word now stamped in it.
Oh, nice.
It doesn't tell time.
How much does it cost?
$200.
That's funny. I have a very similar watch that I got from Walmart, and it broke, and it also doesn't tell time, and I wear it all the time just because I want to be looking good. You know, with my watch.
You look at it, and it looks like a watch.
But it just says
it has a bezel. It has a face. It just says the word now.
In capital letters.
Not even an elegant word. Just N-O-W, now. And it has a bunch of very boho-inspired models wearing it in
they're wearing those like Pharrell fedoras.
They're wearing tunics and things, probably in
sandals.
And Joshua Tree, maybe. I don't know.
Yep, definitely in the mountains.
You know.
Yeah.
Just
I dig it.
It's just a gold or silver watch-looking object
now
with the word now printed on the face.
I like it.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people.
They're a thriving business. A lot of people need to be reminded to live in the present.
It's just
so good.
It's one of the most dumb, serious products I've ever seen.
Fad or future? You think it's a fad or
I don't know.
Future?
It's definitely not even a fad.
I don't think you can tell the future from that watch. Let me tell you that.
Have you heard of the water company Liquid Gold or something, Liquid Death or whatever?
Yes, I've drank Liquid Death.
It's canned water.
If you would have listened to my episode,
I did.
Yes.
I was asking the listeners.
Oh, have you listened? Hey, listeners, have you listened to the episode when I was in Florida? I drank Liquid Death.
And it's just like it's almost a feat of marketing with just
it's all marketing. The water tastes like aluminum.
A product.
It tastes awful.
Yeah.
The water does not taste good.
Yeah, don't put it in an aluminum can. It's bad.
Yeah. I mean, is it better than putting it in a plastic bottle? I don't know.
Probably.
I'm not sure.
Probably not.
I don't know.
Probably not.
But it wasn't good. So, yeah, it was cool. It was definitely all marketing. It definitely looks like a beer. And when you drink it, it tastes like aluminum. So, there's that. There's that right there.
Yeah, so if you're interested in seeing this dumb product, houseofnow.com.
Yeah. Houseofnow.com.
I thought that was interesting.
Our newest sponsor, houseofnow.com.
I wanted to share on the podcast. It just hasn't happened yet, but it happened today. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, that was good.
I don't want to drink this beer. It's not good.
I mean, I'm not hating it. I'm kind of enjoying it. Doesn't taste awful.
Do you want to
It's
drink
kinda
mine?
sweet. I mean, I can. I will.
Do you want to drink the other?
That bad boy on.
Do you want to drink the other two that are upstairs? Also,
Yes.
Finally something good.
Do I have to do it tonight?
Yes. Finally something good to drink. A Coors Light.
We'll see. We'll see where I'm at.
That's so much better. That's so much better.
Dude, we got a lot of questions, man. And we got a lot of things to talk about. Well, we got a couple questions.
We got a question.
We have a couple.
Okay.
We have a couple. We can get to them. We don't have to get to them right now.
Let's
not get to them right now. I have some content I'm interested in talking
Is it
about.
youth drag related?
Nah. We're gonna drop that. Well, the
topic was a real
you know what?
drag.
Since you brought it up, Lincoln, let's talk a little bit about it real quick.
Yes, let's talk about this.
I've been thinking about this a lot.
Day 7 in a row.
Day 7 in a row. Hey, man, when the content's good and it's happening in Goshen, you got to capitalize on it.
And if podcasting has taught me one thing, it's that you talk about the same things over and over and over again.
Yep.
Which is what we do.
We do. Bikes. Brews.
Youth drag shows.
Youth drag shows.
Yeah,
I was trying to think about. I saw. I mean, it's been all over my Facebook from people who are very pro for it and people who are very negative against it, and it's turned into this whole battle. And I want to say this. I think that it's great to be authentic, and I do not want Goshen or people in Goshen to have to hide how they feel, what they think, what they want to do, how they want to do it. I think that really needs to be the emphasis. Like, they need to be authentic. And I think that some of pride allows people to be free, to have opinions, to say the things that they're interested in, they like, and different things like that. I think what went wrong with the youth drag show is, one, there wasn't a lot of information about what it was. So I think I'm still not sure what was going to happen, and it didn't happen, so we don't know what was going to happen. Was it going to be a troop of youth doing a drag show? Was it just like a Halloween party?
What was it? A drag show by adults for youth?
Right. You don't
knows?
know. There wasn't really details on what the information was, and so a little bit more clarity would have been helpful, and it could have been something as innocent as like a Halloween dress up party at the pool. Could have been. But it could have gone to a totally extreme side too, where it was inappropriate, and there was you don't know. There's a spectrum. It could have been all of these different things. And then when it comes to children, that's what gets kind of scary. Like while we walk through all the different events that happened at Goshen Pride, karaoke, drag trivia, all that stuff. I mean, I think most of Goshen was pro it. Like they weren't mad about it, or if they were mad about it, they didn't care that it was happening. It was it's something that happens around in our culture all the time. But I had this idea, and I don't know if it's a good idea, but I want to put it out there and tell me what you think, Lincoln.
Okay.
So I think a lot of, and I'll say this too, a lot of conservatives in Goshen, they're getting fed this narrative about a lot of different stuff, and that's been happening for a long time. And so when they hear youth drag show, I think to these more religious, more conservative people in Goshen, and I would say I'm in that sphere of people. I'm in that sphere of people. I'm progressive on a lot of different things. I'm open-minded, right? But I would probably be more in that, leaning in that side of things. And so when they said youth drag show, it was almost like if you were to say these words to some very, very ultra-liberal lefty people. So you want to hear these words?
I do.
There is a youth Trump rally happening in whites only at Shanklin Park. Now, do you hear what I'm saying?
No, I do.
Right? So let's look at that really quickly. Youth only Trump rally, whites only, right? So maybe it's just a bunch of white boys, white girls, white people wanting to celebrate Trump, and they don't want any interference. That sounds bad, but on the total opposite end, it could be like a white supremacy function where they're recruiting youth. You know what I mean? Like that type of, so the feeling you get from that when you hear that, it's like, whoa, we got to put a break on this, like a Trump rally period, right? Not everyone's a fan of, but it's happening. A drag show period, not everyone's a fan of, but it's happening. Now, I don't think they're one and one. I really don't think they're one. A youth drag show is the same as a bunch of white supremacists who are kids who are fans of Donald Trump. They're not correlated, but I'm just using it as like I just think a lot of people who are out there that are talking about this, if they were to hear something like that, they would be reacting the same way the conservatives are. And whether that's right or wrong, that's up to discussion, and I think we should discuss it. We should have a conversation about it. But I was thinking about that. So what do you think about that, Lincoln?
I think you hit the nail on the head with your hammer when you said it's not a one-to-one. I think it's kind of a weak metaphor.
Oh, okay.
Because one of them is pretty exclusive and one of them isn't. Youth drag show, everyone can come and participate or whatever.
Yeah, everyone could. Well,
and so
maybe those who aren't
and
as inclusive.
The whites youth only, whites only Trump rally is pretty exclusive.
It's pretty exclusive, yeah.
Pretty exclusion. Exclusion-y.
Feeling that you get is what I'm trying to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the feeling that a lot of these conservative people are feeling when they see that.
This is wrong to expose children to this.
Right.
Kind of.
Right.
Or like, I don't know. It's hard because like we're so used to a lot of things.
Can I ask you a question after this?
Yeah, you may. Because like the reaction in Goshen to like a youth rifle club, for example, that would be probably pretty well received. And there's probably a shooting sports 4-H club of some sort.
That's part of it. Expert marksman.
And there are like hunting clubs and stuff like that. And so someone might hear about that and think, you can't expose children to violent guns and things of the sort. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think we're super not used to something like a youth drag show.
Yeah.
I think should we view that in the same light as a youth take your kid and shoot a gun club sort of thing?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we should or shouldn't. We should have a conversation about it. And again, I think you're right. And what I said, it's not a 1-to-1 comparison. That visceral feeling that you hear when you hear a white-only youth Trump rally, that feeling, I'm like, that scares me. I don't like that. If I heard that, I'd be like, heck no, that can't happen. You know what I mean? But I think that's what conservatives felt in Goshen too. Like, heck no, this shouldn't be happening. And I would say I'm part of that. And now, I do want to say I don't know what in reality it was or it is or what was going to happen. So I just had that thought. I thought I'd throw it out there. And I really think it's good to be authentic. I think for a long time, specifically conservatives, man, and Christians have told you not to talk about how you feel and just fall in line. We're seeing it's kind of authoritarian.
Very like the conservative movement or the evangelical movement to say no.
Live in these rules.
Don't express your feelings.
Yeah, and that is not, in my opinion, that is not what the Bible or Christianity says. There is freedom in being free and speaking who you are, and people don't have to agree with you, but you need to be authentic, and people need to be free. People need to say things. Now, do I think it's the coming out and putting your sexual identity on your shoulder is a good thing or not? I don't know. I don't think who you date is ever going to give you satisfaction and ever going to give you pleasure. But not pleasure. I mean, maybe pleasure, but it's not going to be your identity. Your identity is so much more than just who you're attracted to. You know.
Since when is it anyone's business what you do with?
So I saw a Snapchat story. Well, I didn't see one. Allison watched one on the way up to the cabin last week, and she said, "It's and Snapchat is just scroll holes. You go on to explore page, and you just get in these Snapchat stories." And it was this individual who came out as trans. And then, so that was their first coming out party, and then came out as maybe attracted to the same sex, then as trans, and then attracted to a different sex. They had like 4 different coming out parties from each different switch that they did, from this part to this part to this part. And I mean, you come out so many times. Is it the act of coming out and telling everyone how you feel and what your now sexual preference is and now what you are, your thing, that doesn't give you life. I mean, to them it does for a little bit, but then they have to change it, and they have to change it to that specific person. So, and I think it's the same thing as people who chase after money. Like, you making X amount of dollars is not going to give you satisfaction ever. And it's not your identity. A rich person is not an identity. A lot of people think it is, but it's not an identity. Also, a local rapper is not your identity. You know what I mean? It may be a part of your identity, but it's not totally your identity. So, that's what I have to say about the Youth Drag Show. I don't know if that made sense. That could be totally wrong. And I think through all this, it's been a learning experience for me, learning what cisgendered is, and also I was totally wrong on the trans to youth thing, to the drag thing. Those are 2 different things. And so I appreciate our listeners for actually being able to say, hey, you're wrong on this, and this is what it actually is. And shout out to Aaron, for real. He knows what's going on. And I think there's so much out there that a lot of it's just gone past me, and I don't know what it is. I mean, and it's also ever changing in a way too, but I appreciate people that speak into their lives. So what do you think?
I don't know.
Say it with your breast.
I don't know.
Say it with your breast.
I think that I don't know.
Where do you think your identity comes from, Lincoln?
I don't know if it's so much like a question of like what your identity or nature is. I think it has a lot more to do with like what society says about your identity or nature and what they allow you or don't allow you to do. I've never been restricted by society because of either my gender, my nationality, or like what I would consider my sexual identity, being like a straight white male. Like, I don't know. I can, you know, every date I've gone on, I've never got like a weird look. I've never been treated differently for just being what people would consider normal. And so like, I feel like I don't really have a lot of ground to like, I don't know. My perspective isn't very well informed to speak on the issue, to say that you won't get satisfaction from being your most authentic self. And so like, I don't know. It's one thing to, I think, consider yourself trans, but if society not persecutes, I mean, maybe persecutes you, but like if you're constantly like having to deal with the negative side effects of who you believe yourself to be, you might be kind of unfulfilled. Yeah. I think
that negative, I mean, we are living in a world where everyone is comparing themselves to everyone else. That's Instagram, you know? And whether that's affecting trans people, I think that's affecting everyone. I don't think it's just a trans issue. Maybe it's accentuated and heightened in the trans community, but that's a thing that everyone's dealing with, man. Like, and also I know what you're saying.
Respectfully disagree. I don't know. I've never been stared down for being like a straight dude on a date with a woman. You know what I mean? Like, I just like I get what you're saying. Like, I just think it's easy to say that when you've never had to deal with any negative side effects for just being who you are. And I think that's what a lot of gay, trans, whatever label you believe yourself to be that isn't straight, like, you've probably had to deal with some really negative things because of that. And I think we're on the same page with that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think.
And so, like, I think now a lot of people are, for the first time in their lives, exploring what would life be like if I didn't experience negative side effects for just being who I was.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll ever find the true experiencing life. I mean, I don't think that's ever possible. They can try it, they can go for it, but it's never going to give them satisfaction. That's what I believe.
I don't know.
And I know they may be persecuted, all that, but dude, like, there's a thing that we talk about at church. It's called the fear of man. And we all deal with the fear of man. Like, we're afraid of saying this thing because it might be dumb, or doing this thing because it might be this or that. And I guess you're right. I've never been stared down because I was on a date with my fiance. But I have. I mean, you're always going to feel stuff, no matter what, whether it is real or it isn't real. You're always going to perceive stuff, and to get away from that, you just need to live authentically and not care what people think.
But what if it's
freedom to that?
What if it's more than just like a thought? Like, what if you're actually treated differently because of being who you are?
Like, they shouldn't be able to treat you differently. I mean, we live in a place where everyone is equal.
But, like, no, not really. I don't know.
So, like, if someone walks up to you and starts causing you trouble because of you're out on a date with whatever, you know what I'm saying, and they don't find that appropriate, that's not right. That person is not allowed to do that to you.
I don't think we're arguing if it's right or wrong. I'm saying I've never had to deal with that. So, like, I don't know what it feels like.
You've never had to deal with it, but you may have to deal with it in the future. I think we're all going to have to deal with it.
Okay.
That is just a human thing. That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is I've never had to actually deal with that. And so, like, my perspective on the issue, like, I'm not seeing all sides of it. I don't think you are either.
You've dealt with conflict.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's conflict, bro. You've dealt with conflict.
But, like,
in this specific vein, 100%, I've never dealt with it in that specific vein. But we've dealt with conflict. We've dealt with it different ways of people trying to harm you or to take advantage of you or to say things to make you feel less of a person. Like, I don't think it's this thing. I think it's a broader thing. That again.
I don't think we're arguing that it's, like, wrong. It's super wrong that people are treated that way because of being themselves.
But you're telling me that I've not experienced it, and you're right. I've not experienced that specific thing, but
Sure.
I think that specific thing is a much deeper thing, not just that surface level what you identify as or whatnot. I think we're gonna deal with conflict as humans. We're gonna deal with people not wanting you to be a part of their tribe or looking at you different, and you gotta get past that. And I don't think it's
All right, gay people, get over it.
or white
Timon.
people get over it.
No, I get what you're saying. Like there is like when you like the
Or
strength,
poor people get over it.
the strength that comes from looking inside and really understanding who you are, and like that's a really strong and like confident person when you know who you are, and you don't let your actions be affected by people's actions. But like, how many times are you gonna get beat up before you change your actions? Like, how many times can
when
you?
you get beat up, that's when you take it to the law, because that's violence against you, and we live in a country where that shouldn't be a thing.
No, it shouldn't be, but historically it is. Like or being gay being illegal. Like, can't go to the cops if you get beat up being gay in the 70s or whatever.
Yeah, prior to the 70s, it was all after World War II. I don't, you know.
Yeah,
history, prior to World War II, people were like pretty pro gay. It was like an actual in our culture, pretty cool. But what happened was propaganda. Now I don't want to get too deep into that. That's a totally different rabbit trail. But the Russians started blackmailing people because they started pushing a narrative in our. All right.
I get what you're saying. It should not be that way, but like it is. That's a lot of people's reality. And like, what if you can't fight? Like, what if you don't have the money for a legal thing? What if you know what I mean? Like what?
Right.
Like what if you don't have that ability? Like
that's a lot of people's reality in this sliver, and a lot of people are living in a lot of different realities with a lot of different problems. If you talk about people that are living in low-income areas, they're dealing with a totally different set of reality. You know what I mean? So what? Like, I can't ever feel the way that they feel, but I can tell them that they're all human. We're all human, you know? And so these are adversities you have to get past. And that sounds awful. It does sound awful when I say that, but
no, it should not be. We're both saying the same thing. It shouldn't be this way.
It shouldn't be.
I just think it is, and a lot of people just have to deal with that it is.
Yeah,
I don't think that's right.
I don't like the fact that Tim and you can't talk about the subject because you haven't experienced it. And I understand that. But I don't think it's, again, I think it's a surface level thing on a deeper root that maybe I have experienced. On the root of, we're seeing the flowers. Maybe I've not butted into that specific flower, but the root issue I have dealt with. I mean, I've been places where I don't feel accepted. I've been places where people take advantage of me because of who I am and my nature and things like that. And so I think there's a way past it, you know. But now I forget what we were arguing about.
Me too. I also have. No, we were just talking about like people's response to youth drag show and like what would that be like to like, can we add some perspective to it? And talk.
I think it's good that people are talking about it. I don't want people to be hateful and bigots, and I want to also have people that say, "Hey, I don't agree with this," and be allowed to say that, because I think a lot of people who were, me included, were okay with most of what was going on with Goshen Pride, but that one individual thing, and because we did not agree with that one individual thing, they felt like we hated the whole week and hated Pride, and that's not what I want that to come across as.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does, but taking a step back from that, like, no one was asking your permission to do this. Like, they weren't asking you to be okay with it, really.
Right.
It's not
but
like
they need to know that we're not okay with it.
The people aren't asking you if you're okay with 4-H Fair Week happening.
Not okay. The government's not asking my permission to bomb Syria and Yemen and all these places, but I do want to let them know, hey, it's not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. You know.
I do. I think what you're.
I'm not saying
a little bit
the same thing, but like, hey, if we need to talk about it. If we're not bringing this to the subject, then the train keeps moving. Whether that train is good or not, we need to have conversations about it. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah. I think a little bit earlier what you're describing is the difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is, I've been through that situation, I feel. Empathy is, I know how it feels to hurt about something. Like I can, like I have felt the emotions you're feeling in a different situation. I think it's always good to have empathy because you're right. Like, you will never be able to have 100% of the experiences of someone else.
Never.
Because life is too big and it's too vast.
So complicated.
But the idea is, I'm a person and we experience emotions, and I felt the emotions you feel. Let's have conversations. Let's talk about it. I'm not going to write you off because I haven't gone through what you've gone through. And you need to, not you need to, but like, you need to understand that, like, I'm trying really hard to also say, I know what it feels like to feel pain, like you feel pain in different ways. And it's like it's a two-way street for sure.
And I just want to tell people that, and maybe this is my experience, at one time in my life, I tried to act one way because I felt like that's what people wanted me to act like. That's what people wanted me to be like. This is at Grace College. And I found so much freedom from just being who I was and not being afraid of what other people thought of me as. And there's freedom in that. There's a lot of freedom in that. And so I want to pass it on to other people. I don't want them to feel like they have to be this way or that way or this way. I'm only accepted, or I'll only feel good if I feel this way. It's okay to tell people how you feel, but it's also, we're complex people. And you need to just understand who you are.
My bad. I accidentally hit the stop recording button.
Are we back into it?
Yeah, we're back.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I didn't cut anything off. I hit the space bar on accident.
Oh, no worries. Well, I think that's a good break.
All right, guys. See you Monday.
Yeah, no, we got questions.
There was a bunch of words that we vomited out towards you.
No, I think
things.
I think it's good discussion. Maybe you guys, hopefully, if you weren't interested in it, you just hit the fast forward button a couple times.
Hopefully, you just unsubscribed. That's the idea. Just unsubscribe. We know a lot of you have, but the rest of you,
do it. Do it now, while there's still time. Rome is burning. Set the streets on fire.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to
questions?
Get into our questions?
Okay, yeah. I'm
a little bit.
So down for it. Do you want us to get into questions?
I don't want to talk about what we've been talking about for the past 20 minutes
you
more.
Want to talk about it at the start, period.
I didn't.
You didn't. I really didn't. I dragged you into it.
You dragged me into it.
I dragged you into it. I love it. Okay. Let's see here. All right, this is from Melissa. Great thoughts on Friday's Fat or Future. This was last week's Friday Fat or Future. Could you talk a little bit more about the salmonella light killing germs? Because I see ads for phone boxes with blue light killing germs, and I just can't believe it actually does anything. I've also seen blue light face masks that are supposed to prevent wrinkles. That also seems very scammy. Maybe I don't know enough about it.
I don't know either. I don't know.
Those are all scams, probably.
The sunlight kills light, or kills stuff.
Salmonella kills stuff.
Yeah, it might.
What was I trying to say? Centronella? Is that what I was trying to say?
I think you were trying to say salmonella.
So I was definitely trying to say salmonella. There's no question about that. I don't know if phone boxes with blue light to kill germs. I've never heard of that. Maybe silver phone boxes, maybe.
I've seen copper phone cases.
They're supposed to
be antiseptic. I don't know.
Blue light mask. I think, Elisa, you're right. Maybe the stuff is a little bit more of a fad, kind of like a quick marketing. Like, it's a hot topic right now. Blue light, blue light.
It's like tanning beds.
Yeah, like tanning beds. Yeah, fad.
You want to get a tanning bed?
I do not. I spend time outside. I'd rather get that real vitamin D, not that salmonella D. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like vitamin D is probably vitamin D.
Were you ever told not to eat raw cookie dough because of salmonella?
Told by whom? The FDA.
Mom.
The FDA.
Yeah, FDA.
Yeah. Everyone has been.
Yep. I was told not to. Did it anyway. So I'm a rule breaker.
Yeah. Really, it's.
It's when I first started bucking authority.
Has a lot to do with how. In fact, a lot of those weird food things that can happen to you have a lot to do with how the food was handled and processed on its way to you.
Okay.
Versus the actual thing. Like, you can eat raw eggs all you want, but like bacteria from the shell that gets in the egg that contaminates it is where that comes from.
And that comes from the factory that the
and how it's handled if it was in a clean environment and stuff too.
Interesting.
I don't know. Like you can eat like a rare steak if you sear the outsides.
Yeah.
But if you get if you get a raw like steak tartare is just like a very nice ground up steak with some like
I've seen
olive
steak
oil and
tartare
stuff.
with an egg on top of it, a raw egg on top of it.
Yeah, you just eat it.
Yep.
I don't know. There like
That's a big thing in Europe.
A lot of weird stuff we have to deal with has a lot to do with food being processed in unclean environments.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you get that steak literally off the cow and then cut it up, you can eat that.
Yeah.
Right then or there. But it's sitting in and doing stuff.
Well, I mean, maybe. It depends on how, like, if you, like, have taken steps to make sure, like, your knife's clean and, like, you've cleaned the animal and, like, none of the contents of the intestines have gotten over the meat when you've been butchering it. Too. And, like, yeah, it's a difficult situation. I don't know. Can we be done with this one?
We can.
Okay.
Thank you,
Sick.
Elisa.
Thanks, Elisa.
Nice. Well, our next one is from Brian. This is in regards to Monday's episode. First, congratulations. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
He says, thanks, Brian. He says, and yes, some people do change their minds later in regards to sexuality. You could be married at 30. Oh, I'm sorry. You could be married for 30 years with 4 kids, and then bam, you're sucking dick from Craigslist. Okay. Thanks, Brian.
Do you feel like that's not a real story? Because it definitely is.
Do you know someone? All right. So I'll tell you this. I knew a girl at college, and her dad came out as gay when she was like in college.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that messed her up or anything, but she has multiple kids from multiple.
Brian's pretty open about his dad being gay now.
Oh, so that's his dad. So that's from his dad.
Yeah.
Dang, I did not know that.
Yeah.
You want to tell a story, or should we have Brian tell a story?
Brian just told the story.
That's what it was.
That's
you sitting up people on Craigslist?
That's the story.
Yeah, Craigslist is the spot to do it, I guess.
So yeah,
thanks, Brian. I appreciate it.
I kind of forget what we were talking about Monday about like.
It's probably in regards to. It's
probably
youth
in regards to
drag show. Yeah, 100%. Because that's all we talked about this week.
Youth drag show.
Could be married at 30 years with 4 kids, and then bam, sucking dick.
Yep. Yeah, it's been a minute now. I think for his dad. I think probably not 10 years, but I don't probably 6 or 7 years. Yeah. I think Brian's dad has been out of the closet.
Do you think Brian's dad feels better about being real with how he feels?
I would have to talk to Brian's dad.
Yeah, that's a good question. Thanks, Brian. Thanks again for telling us a little bit about yourself and your dad. Our next question is from Brian.
What's up, Brian? Thanks for listening, buddy. I appreciate it.
I'm really happy for you, Timon. But aren't you and Lincoln basically in common law marriage?
No, we're a couple of years shy of common law marriage.
We are 2 years shy of common law marriage. So who gets the house in the divorce, he asks.
Your name's on the deed, so
yeah, that would be me.
Per the normal rules, whoever's name is on the deed gets the house.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that would be me. Now the joint crypto investment account that we have, we're just gonna split that 50-50, and Joe is gonna be alternative weekends. What I'm thinking.
Oh.
And then we're both gonna pay for doggy daycare during the week.
I will absolutely not do that.
Oh shoot! Yeah, that's a really good question, Brian. I think
a question we get asked often: whose dog is Joe?
We're not really sure. It's definitely Alex's dog that we've been watching for like 4 years, 5 years. It's
Alex's dog that we've been watching for 6 years.
I don't know. It depends. All right, so I've thought about this. I feel like I'll probably get Joe, but we're gonna see what Lincoln's next housing situation is.
Yeah, I might, if I move into an apartment after this, I probably won't have the opportunity to take Joe with me.
Yeah,
like that's
now. Let's say it's 3 years down the road, and Lincoln moves into a house, and Lincoln says, "Can I have Joe?" I would not be opposed to letting him have Joe. I'm saying I would definitely do it.
Is Joe gonna be alive in 3 years?
I hope so.
Okay.
I mean,
pets don't last forever. That's all I'm saying.
It might be 4 or 5 years, but
Joe's already like 8 years old.
I know. He's a good 8-year-old.
He's
solid.
He's an old dog.
But yeah, and the other thing, Brian, is even Lincoln and I have talked about just like, tools and kitchenware, and Lincoln has a pretty good inventory on what is his, and I have pretty good inventory on what's mine. We'll probably just split it how it is, Now, who gets the Dijon mustard with horseradish sauce in the fridge? I mean, that we'll have to debate about.
You get it as long as I get the Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A sauce is yours.
Yeah, that's going to be the big debate. Splitting up the fridge condiments.
Yeah, that's the real stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good question, Brian. Okay, and here's our not our last question. Here's our next question. Donda from no one says, Donda. What do you think, Lincoln? DONDA ?
What? I don't. Is that Spanish or something?
No, I am so pumped for Donda. I've been waiting since.
Is this a video game?
Nope. Okay. I've been waiting since May. It might have been March 2020.
What's it an acronym for?
It's not an acronym for anything.
Okay. What is it?
I think it is in reference to his passing mom. It's Kanye's next album.
Oh, gotcha.
Fun fact, Donda was supposed to be God's Country. That's what he released. And then a name changed to Donda, and then name changed to one other thing, which was the West Day Ever. And then it went back to Donda. So it's been kind of a couple different iterations. But it's supposed to be releasing, I don't know, today, I think? It's supposed to be releasing here soon. Are you a fan of Kanye?
I don't know.
Dude, I'm a huge fan of Kanye.
I don't listen to his music that often, so probably not.
Was it March? March 2018. I did a thing called Kanye Madness. Now, you may be questioning what that is. Well, let me tell you. Have you heard of March Madness? It's the same thing, but it was with Kanye. So I took all of his discography, and I put them in brackets, and I listened to all of them, and then pushed them to the next brackets, and then listened to the winners of those, pushed them to the next finals, and then was to listen to finally get to the last one. Now, I'll tell you what my number one favorite song of Kanye is. It's Ultralight Beam. Such a phenomenal song. And what I found is I was sleeping on Kanye. I did not realize how great Kanye is. His whole discography is just he has a whole range of emotions, and after listening to it, so many modern artists come from Kanye. The whole autotune thing, that was Kanye. 808 and Heartbeats, come on, dude.
Autotune started with Kanye? Are you kidding me right now? You think autotune started in the mid 2000s?
He's the one that pushed it.
Okay.
He's the one that pioneered it, dude. He is the voice of our generation. I'm pumped for Donda. I'm very pumped for Donda. It's got some really good tracks. It's going to have a bunch of solid artists. I think Tyler, the Creator, might be on it. I could be wrong. He was caught listening to the album, and so that's why I think he might be on it. There's a lot of great tracks that are on it, and it's supposed to be one of his... This is what they're saying. So I don't know if it's true or not, but they say it's supposed to be one of his... like going back to a hungry raw artist, and he kind of did all of this stuff, he put a lot of work into Donda, and then he ran for presidency, he got divorced, he kind of put it all on hold, and after the divorce he went right to the studio and just poured his time into that. And so I'm super pumped for Donda.
Have you heard Childish Gambino's new song?
I have not.
He has a new song. You can listen to it.
I'll have to check it out.
Decide if you like it's good or not. I don't know.
I love Childish. I loved old Childish. I haven't listened to much of his new stuff. Redbone was solid. But, dude, I'm telling you what. I slept on Kanye for so long. And he said some good stuff. God's Country was such a good name for the title of it. But I'm excited. Donda, again, is his mom. I believe that's his mom's name. That's why he's naming it after. And it's supposed to have a lot of different parts of like recordings of her in the album. And he also chose, what was her name? It's a famous artist. She lost her mom at an early age, and that's why he chose her. I think she's dead now, but her artwork to represent the album cover. So, pump for it. Donda, let's go. I don't think anyone knew I was about to come here with a straight Donda facts.
No, but it seems in your nature to be
I'm
about
for
Kanye.
West.
So
I like Kanye West before he was a fan of Donald Trump. I'll tell you that. Yep. Then he came out as a fan of Donald Trump. I was like, oh. And then I voted for him. So there's that. All right, last question, and then we'll do Fatter Future. This is from our sponsor, Golf Lessons with John. Golf Lessons with John on Facebook. Make sure to go follow him. Make sure to go like his page. Make sure to go give him the attention that he deserves. He is our sponsor. He is the love of our life. He is a king. He crushes it.
Get some lessons. Swing with John.
John's a swinger. And, you can catch him every other weekend swinging.
That's 100% what I meant by that. Mm-hmm. That was the joke I was making.
I wasn't making a joke. He swings
golf clubs.
Yep, pretty hard.
Sick.
So he says, question for Friday. I met this gal at church this week, and she seemed pretty cool. The day after meeting her, I added her on Snapchat, which, in hindsight, was probably a mistake. She has not added me back, but while at church, we talked shortly, and she seemed chill. I'd like to get to know her better, but I don't want to screw it up. Even if we're just friends, that'd be cool. She's into nerdy stuff like Star Wars, Harry Potter, and Marvel. How do you think I should approach her next time I see her? Should I play it pretty chill or ask her about those things? Side note, she says she hates social media, so that might be related to why she did not add me back on Snapchat. Maybe she doesn't use Snapchat that much. Any ideas would be cool. Thanks, boys.
All right, John. I'm gonna give you the same advice I would give someone who was looking to purchase a steak and how to prepare it. And here's the advice I'm gonna give you. If it's the right steak, you can't mess it up.
That's a really good piece of advice right there.
So I know you're worried about screwing it up, jumping into things a little too quick. But if she likes you back, you probably can't screw it up. Because attraction, it is conditional, but like the attraction that's going to lead to a real significant other, like if she's into you, if the energy's there, if
the vibes are on point.
Yeah. If Providence wills you two to be together, I don't think even you can come in between that. So just be yourself. Yeah. Just in every situation, be like, what would Golf Lessons with John do? And do that. Yeah. Just be yourself. Just John, I know you're a laid back, easygoing guy. If you feel like she doesn't want to talk,
funny,
don't talk.
You're fun, you're chill. Just be you, bro.
Take interest in her interests. Decide to like the things she likes. Let go of all of your old hobbies and interests. And only concern yourself with the things that she is into.
Yeah, that's a really good piece of advice. Right
be yourself and then change. I'm kidding, John. I really mean it. Be yourself.
Yeah.
You're a great dude. I like being around you. I don't know why any young or old ladies would not enjoy being around you. So,
John, we need to chat because I want to come visit you in Bowling Green, Ohio at some point this year. I need to take some golf lessons, so we need to chat about that. But John, there's one thing you can do that will just put you above everyone else.
Yeah, and women hate it. What is it?
You gotta walk up to them. You gotta say, Miss, whatever her name is, I sponsor a podcast. That right there is one of the biggest power moves you can bring to the table.
It's one of the biggest turnoffs that you can present to a woman.
I don't think it's a turnoff, man. I think it's a turn
up.
Head around.
Turn up.
And see what's going on. Turn up, yep.
In fact,
how many dudes is she talking to that do sponsor a podcast?
0.
100%.
0.
That's the cool stuff. I'm telling you, and I want to tell all of our listeners, if you are interested in dating, sponsor our podcast. It is a notch in the belt for you to become the best possible mate for anyone sponsoring our podcast.
Here's an idea, John. If let things progress naturally, if you happen to end up in the same circles and talking, go for that. don't be too forward.
Ask
But
her if she wants to play Among Us.
Here's
Sundays.
and this is what I'm getting at is maybe when she asks what you're into, if she asks what things you're into, good sign. But if she's willing to talk to you about golf, I think that's a good indicator that things are going well. And if she's willing to play some golf with you, I don't know, mini golf, mini golf, I don't know.
Golf. She ain't ready for regular golf.
Go to the driving range, see if she's into that. I don't know. It's it could be cool to
explain to her how
you play some golf.
Explain to her how you're a swinger, and you just swing for the stars.
I don't know. Yeah, that's. Any of our non-male listeners out there, if you want to chime in, Tim and I are really struggling with this one.
No, I think you gave great
so
advice.
Elisa,
Allison, Holly, Alea.
If you have any advice for John,
what's your Jocelyn?
Audrey. I think really the only female listener we can count on is Allison. Jasmine listens.
So Darby as well.
Darby, we made fun of her probably too much. I don't know if she listens still.
Lincoln's mom.
My mom does not listen.
Oh well. My mom listens, and
Timon's mom
as well.
Yeah. If any of the lady listeners out there have some advice for young golf lessons with John,
young money,
we would really please help. I think. No, John has asked us for relationship advice in the past, and John is still single, so I can't say that we killed it. I really can't. I think we led John astray in the past.
I don't think so. Maybe we shut doors he didn't need to open. Maybe our advice was what he needed to hear at that time. I think you're undermining some of our advice. Like, you are 100% right. Be authentic. Be who you are, because she'll figure that out eventually. If you guys do start dating, you do kind of go down that path, the worst thing to do is to not be yourself.
But also put your best foot forward. Be like the best version of who is truly you. I mean, maybe,
or just be you, dude. I don't know.
I mean, like,
you could be the best, put the best foot forward, but they'll eventually find that you're not always your best all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to be authentic.
For sure. I don't know. I don't know. All I'm saying is,
I also say, John,
it's okay to try.
Don't worry, bro.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's okay to try. Be yourself.
Yeah.
No pressure, but also,
you're a sponsor of our podcast. Make sure she knows that too.
Make sure she knows that you sponsor a podcast.
Yeah.
She needs to know this.
Yeah.
If you tell us what her name is, we will put her name in one of the titles for the episode. Maybe this one.
The title will be not.
We could text him right now and find out.
The title could be. I don't think we gotta wait for it. We gotta strategize with John a little bit. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, John. We'll do fatter feature in 3, 2, 1.
Timon and Allison. Today is a very special Fatter Future, honoring you in your engagement. Congratulations to the both of you. Today's topic is weddings. Many years ago, weddings were smaller and less extravagant ordeals. As time has gone on, weddings have gotten to be more elaborate, inviting more people and adding experiences like photo booths or donut walls. When COVID hit, people were forced to strip down all those lavish ideas and get back to the basics of planning a simple wedding. Do you think people are starting to enjoy these simple, intimate weddings, or are they bursting at the seams to fork out the money and go wild again?
Thanks, Elisa.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Excellent question.
Yeah, that's a great question.
So, Timon, how much are you going to spend on a wedding? What's your wedding budget right now?
Well, I've talked to her dad, and he's giving me a number.
What number? What number has he given you?
Above $1,000.
Above
$1,000.
About $1,000.
Above it. Above $1K.
Is it below $2K?
It's not below $2K. I don't remember what his actual number was, but he's gonna. We'll see. I think there's gonna be help. I also, to be honest, I do not want to have a wedding in your like most conventional spot. I want a party in the field with all my friends. I want to be the one
You can't steal all my wedding ideas, Timon.
keg standing
good time.
and pouring the beer for my friends. Like the thing is, I think when you go into wedding venues, it's so expensive, dude. I remember like my buddy Aaron Duncan, who you are friends with. Aaron was looking at wedding venues, and he was looking at Bread and Chocolate, which is over in Goshen. And depending on what day it was, so Saturday was the most expensive day. That was like $12K for the venue. On Friday and Saturday, it was $9K. I'm sorry, Friday and Sunday, it was $9K just for the venue. On every other day, it was $7K. And I'm like, that is so expensive. Do you know how much alcohol I could purchase with $7,000?
Well, here's an idea.
Enough to feed an army, dude.
So you're young.
Yep.
You're getting married.
Yep.
And you tell your parents, Mom, Dad, I'm going to spend $10,000 on a motorcycle.
Okay.
Everyone universally would tell you, hey, maybe you should not make an extravagant purchase. You're young. You probably should save the money. You really don't need the motorcycle.
Yep.
You should probably save it. Now when it's a big old party for everybody, your parents are like, you have to. Everyone says you have to.
Not my parents. My parents are pretty cool.
Your parents are pretty cool. But everyone expects you to spend like $10K on a wedding when if it was anything else, the conventional wisdom would say, no, you're young. You need to save your money for the future.
Yeah.
And so like, why is it okay?
I don't want to start my marriage in debt. I really don't want to. That sounds like it sounds like a very bad way to start.
James and Elisa, how much did you spend on your wedding?
Their wedding was dope, dude.
Nice.
I don't think they spent anything. I think
our married friend listeners, how much did you spend on your wedding?
Yeah.
And how much did you regret it? That's my question.
Well, I know Ben. I remember when Ben was over here while they were working on their wedding, and he showed me their spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And I love that. I am going to sit down with Allison. We're going to have a number. We're going to make it fit, and we're going to find how to make that all work. Now, I don't want Allison. I'll tell you this, and Allison's probably listening, so I don't want Allison to feel like she has to do certain things to fit her budget. I want her to brainstorm all of the things she wants.
Gotcha.
And then we're going to take a look
but
at
ultimately do what you want.
No.
Per the dollar amount.
No, the great thing about a wedding, dude, is it's where you get to learn and grow together and figure it out. And
under a certain dollar amount.
She's going to make concessions.
Under a certain dollar amount.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if it means
she can have the ring, but she cannot wear it in the river.
She wore it in the river, dude. That's the thing. She wore it in the river. If it gets to
I'm
the
just
point
kidding.
where it's like, I mean, we're going into debt. Like, I have to have a conversation about that. And now, let's say we're going in. Like, let's say I have to pay out of pocket a couple thousand. That's a different story than being $20,000 in debt.
But Timon, the wedding dress, it's the one. It's $8,000, Timon.
Right. I say, listen,
just kidding.
That's a beautiful dress. Let's go find alternatives that look like that make it work. You know what I mean? But I think there's ways to, and the cool thing about Allison is she works with me. We will talk things. We talk through the details. We talk through all the different stuff, and it's really sweet. Like, I feel blessed to have someone who we can talk through a lot of different things and talk through different ideas. And I'm not one to shut something. I hope I'm not one to shut something down right away. I want to be open to it, and I want to think through all the details and then make the right decision. I think that's how you make good decisions. So
no, I think you guys are gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think we will be too.
I don't think we're gonna have any issues.
We have ideas, and I think it would be really cool to just party in a field with a bunch of my friends. Bring like Abe, have music from Abe, have a couple different like taco trucks and barbecue spot and a pizza place, like just like venues and almost like a festival, but it's an evening of just celebrating our like future together, honestly. But do I think that the wedding industry, the extravagant wedding industry, is just a fad? No, at least I think it's the future. We live in a world where it's all about your pictures on Instagram, your pictures on Facebook, and making everyone want the experience you had when you did it. And the only way to do that is to go bigger and bolder each time. Did you see that thing on social media where
Yes.
it was a white female with a black male? And they were doing photos in a cotton field, and he had chains.
What?
Yeah. Right?
What?
Right. It was like this engagement thing, and this guy had chains, and she was unlocking his chains, and they were all in 1800 garb.
Oh my!
Right? You know why they did that?
Very white saviory.
Do you know why they did that?
Why did they? Because they have an incredible sense of humor.
No, because now everyone knows what's going on with that. Everyone's talking about it.
What?
It's for the clout, bro. It's for the.
I feel like that's a really high level joke.
I think what it is they did something that they knew were going to get a reaction, and it was something massive. It pushed it, and so that's what's going to be the wedding industry. Let's take something that just pushes it to the next level. Are we going to get married while our whole group of people, all 500 people, go skydiving, and I do the whole marriage? And you know what I mean? It's just going to go to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, because they want to have that viral moment. They want to have. Our culture wants to say, look at our wedding, it was the best, you cannot top it. That's the culture we live in, and I think that's only going to get more and more.
And everyone has two
Weddings. Yeah, 100%.
Everyone doesn't have two, but statistically,
yeah.
a lot of people have multiple. Yeah, if you have been to Grace College, you will have two weddings. Sorry, Timon. You'll have two weddings.
Yep.
Minimum.
It only goes up from there.
And so not only the scale of the wedding, I think, is getting to be a little out of hand.
Yep.
Also, there are things in pop culture that are driving it. Say Yes to the Dress, Bridezilla, all the TLC wedding shows. There's all that too. You're right, dead on about social media.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be a celebrity, and your wedding is the original way to be a celebrity because it's your day or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. You have control over it. You can make it your thing.
But
and everyone has to participate in it.
We're living in a time where multiple weddings are not uncommon also. And so weddings are getting bigger. Also, there are more of them per people, I think. I don't know. But also,
it's a whole industry, dude. It's a massive
It's a big industry.
When I worked at Minnow Travel, we sold destination weddings. We sold honeymoon packages.
That's the way to do it.
So we would go to
fly somewhere, get married, get it done.
We would go to these huge event halls where we would talk about us as a travel agency and what we can do for your wedding. And it was all of these brides who literally, them and their bridesmaid posse would roam these halls, drink mimosas, and sign deals. There was no man in sight. They were all signing deals, and there was a ton of money being spent at these exhibit halls in South Bend and Indy and Grand Rapids. It didn't matter. It was just this massive let's go to the exhibit hall and let's see. And there was caterers, there was event places, there was people who literally just sold chairs, the chairs that all your guests are gonna sit in and rent out. You would go and sign a contract with them. It was a whole industry, man.
No, it's crazy. Yeah. Again, any other extravagant purchase, they would say, no, you're young. Probably it's probably wise to save your money for the future. But when it's a wedding, it is expected.
Yeah.
I don't. It's kind of.
I want to have.
It's messed up.
Good food, good drinks in the field. I hate the idea of you have to use our caterer and you have to use our stipulations and this and this. I want to be able to do what I want to do because it's my wedding. I don't want to have it as a package. I want to rage. And I want to say this. I want to invite everyone who listens to our podcast to come rage with us.
Yep.
We're going to have specific tables.
All 12 of you.
All 24 of you. Yeah. 100%. I love to see John and Aaron and all of our listeners there raging with us. So, drinks on me.
All right, guys. We'll see you Monday. That's our episode for today. Hope you have a good Friday.
Can I just say this?
You can.
One thing I've talked about before is to not be offended. And I realized when I first saw the youth drag show stuff, I was offended. And so I need to take that back. And I hope that what we talked about earlier in this episode doesn't offend you guys. And if it does, I understand it. But it's good to just talk through stuff, and that's what we're here for. And so we're not right. We're not perfect. A lot of the stuff we say is garbage anyways. But I'm thankful for you guys listening and being a part of this experience. And so thank you. And hopefully we didn't offend you too much. And if you did, you can protest us. You know the rules. We'll catch you on Monday. Peace.